is going to deliver a speech to persuade the audience to at least consider her viewpoint. Her goal is to inspire some people to get involved and sign a petition online. Please welcome Kaaren Henderson. A joy forever. A joy forever. Kaaren Henderson.
A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Those words were famously said by John Keats, the poet. We here in Del Mar are so lucky because we get to experience beauty every day, both natural and man-made. Today I'm going to talk about two different projects. One that's already been completed very successfully, and that's the Del Mar Plaza, a place we all love. And the other is this upcoming project in Carmel Valley called One Paseo. It's going to be about a half a mile off of Freeway 5, and it's going to start at High Bluff Drive and go all the way to El Camino Real. If you've driven there, there's this big open parcel of land on the right as you're going east. First, let's talk about Del Mar Plaza. I first moved to Del Mar, in Old Del Mar, in 1989. The plaza had just been completed, and I thought it was great. I got to sit up and watch the sunset. I loved it. I was very surprised to learn that two of my neighbors still weren't speaking to one another over the plaza. One of them had been pro, and the other one had been against. And they had been at it and at one another. How did this project get to happen? I was really curious. Turns out that some very concerned citizens got into mothering Del Mar, and they created a petition which led to an initiative that passed so that every citizen in Del Mar got to vote on any project over a certain size. This initiative, called Measure B, also stated that any developer that was granted an exceptional size zoning was also had to, in fact, give something called an exceptional public benefit. Well, the exceptional public benefit that we have in the Del Mar Plaza is that beautiful open space where you can sit and see the sunset and you don't have to buy anything. Wasn't that great that that was engineered? Well, let's now talk about the project coming up, One Paseo. I'm going to tell you that my position is I'd love to pass on One Paseo. And let's talk about how I first found out about it. I first learned about One Paseo through a glossy marketing brochure. It showed pictures of a couple walking hand in hand. And behind them were sidewalk cafes, and it looked a little bit reminiscent of Paris. It said, we need a main street for Carmel Valley, and it will be the heart of our community. Well, I was sold. Wow, I thought of the Del Mar Plaza, and I wanted it. And maybe like me, some of you have heard this, what I'm going to say, propaganda, and you've been sold. What I learned from talking to one of my neighbors was that the real truth was quite a bit different. And she encouraged me to go to some meetings, which I've done. I've gone to 2 meetings now, and I've discovered that this project was originally allowed 500,000 square feet of office space, purely commercial. And that was in the original community plan. What they've asked for is to be rezoned into a mixed-use project with a 400% increase in size. What does that mean to us? What's our impact? I don't think it's going to be a joy forever. So certainly, what's the impact? There's going to be 2 new stoplights between High Bluff Drive and El Camino Real. That's the first thing. There's going to be an additional 26,000 I'm sorry, my mouth is very dry. There's going to be an additional 26,000 auto trips per day onto and off of the freeway. And as I tried to picture the size and scale of this project, I found it a little bit difficult. I just couldn't quite grasp that many square feet. So what I decided was that I know how big a parking space is. I got very curious. How many parking spaces are in some of the different malls around town? So first I started with Del Mar Highlands, the Ralph Center. It has 1,500 spaces. How many of you have ever had a challenge finding a parking place there, especially at peak periods, right? And in fact, when you get a parking place at dinner time, you feel like you've won the lottery. Well, Del Mar Highlands has 1,500 spaces, and our place down in downtown, Horton Plaza, has 2,189 spaces. A pretty big number of spaces. One Paseo has 4,809 spaces. And so guess what that means? That project is going to go up, 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 because it's on 3/4 the size of land that Del Mar Highlands has. So we've got a much more dense project on a much smaller piece of land. And I really don't think it's suitable for Carmel Valley. What else is happening there? Is there an exceptional public benefit? Well, if you think 1 acre of land, which is only 5% of the size of this project, is an exceptional public benefit, you're going to love this project. And in fact, you're probably going to love the upcoming traffic tsunami, where you'll get to sit in traffic and sniff that tangy smell of smog. You'll get to hear the impatient sounds of drivers honking their horns, and you'll be stuck sitting there in traffic. And in fact, if you think, oh, well, I'm lucky, I live on the west side, so I won't have to be stuck over there on the east side of the freeway. If you're going north or south on Interstate 5, you're going to have an additional 4 hours per month of time spent in traffic due to the increase in our traffic tsunami. You're going to be awash in an ocean of cars. So just like the tsunami, this project is sneaking up on us. You know, there's this enticement, the water goes out. We might even go out there to look at the tide pools, but boom, then we're hit. And it is something that is forever, but I wouldn't say it's a thing of beauty that's a joy forever. Now, what can you do about it? Well, it's not too late. The environmental impact report is coming to be reviewed. The deadline is May 29th. There's a website called whatpricemainstreet.com. Everything you need to sign a petition, to send letters to all the city officials, it's all there for you. I actually have hard copies of petitions. I'm going to sit outside afterwards and take signatures. If you want to receive an email from me, you can give me a check mark so that I know that you're open to receiving an email, because then it'd be very easy for you. There's sample letters on the website. You can get involved and mother your neighborhood and be like the people in Del Mar that had the vision to reduce the size of the Del Mar Plaza by 1/3, to force the builder into a situation where they had no choice but to create something that was for the community. I need your help, so let's together create a thing of beauty that's a joy forever.